Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another informative session of Grey Beyond Narratives. Today's debate center on Mahatma Gandhi, one of the world's most influential figures, not just in subcontinent. We will embark on an insightful exploration of Gandhi Ji's life and legacy as India commemorates Gandhi Ji's birthday, known as Gandhi Jayanti. Gandhiji played a critical role in India's independence in 1947. His unwavering commitment to nonviolence and encapsulating in the Satyagraha philosophy resonating around the world, inspiring civil rights movements such as Martin Luther King. Our discussion today, however, dwells deeper. We address his reservation looking at issues such as caste and his perceived role in the subcontinent's partition. While we honor Gandhiji's advocacy for social and political change, there are complexities that require our attention. His treatment of the Dalits, also known as the untouchables, has been criticized despite his effort to lift them up. Some perceived his language and actions as paternalistic and condescending, an aspect of his legacy that we must not overlook. Today's sessions features speakers from both India and Pakistan, fostering a comprehensive dialogue. We hope to unravel the complex threads of Gandhiji's life, acknowledging both his enormous contributions and the shortcomings that characterized his journey. It's more than just a history lesson, it's an examination of a multifaceted personality. Today, in the session, we will explore the complexities of Mahatma Gandhi's life, recognizing the nuisance that defines this larger than life figure. Let us get to the heart of the matter, encompassing Gandhi's stories, dark and light side. I will move forward to Shaji to introduce further. Shaji?
Yes, thank you very much. Am I audible? Can you guys hear me? Thank you, Vaza.
जी, we can hear you. आवाज आ रही है.
जी, शुक्रिया. So, a lot of people consider Gandhi to be this person who was supposed to be an advocate, somebody who was a freedom fighter, but not many people till recent years realized that Gandhi also has a whole group of diaspora or people who kind of oppose him, both in the subcontinent, particularly in India. And there are large groups who, specifically in recent times, have basically brought a more controversial and an opposing side so much against him, so much so that his assassinator person who killed him is revered by some of these people and they treat him like a hero. So we thought it would be a good point of conversation to try and understand the political background and politics behind that thing, because we're talking about an individual who is like at the very center of the political and social fabric of India, which happens to be one of the fastest growing countries in the world, one of the largest and in terms of economies, and largest in terms of the population of people around the globe. So, uh, in a country where they almost revered as an entire nation, a hero, officially considered to be a father figure for over a billion people. All of a sudden, what happened that there is this dark side of him which is emerging, everything from his political side to the very notion that he might have even been a British agent, according to some of these people. So these are some of the questions which we're going to look at. These are going to be the point of conversations. So uh, I think Naimaji is here. I think we'll start from Naimaji in what her main perception in regards to Gandhi is, and then as the conversation progresses, others will join in. Go ahead, Naimaji.
Shaji, sorry, I'm busy with the guests. Can you please go ahead and I will soon, join you. Give me 10, 15 minutes.
That's fine. That's fine. That's
Before
fine.
I mean see off my guest, huh? Please,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry. Huh?
that's
Okay,
fine.
okay,
Aditya,
okay, okay.
Aditya.
Yeah, so I think Gandhi, to see anything in black and white is a very like you know narrow understanding of any person. I would say that every human being is complex, right? So we have some traits that are not we even ourselves are not very proud of. Then there are things that we actually care about, and the changes that we want to see in the society or our impression, and we actually want to work for the society, and we do things uh, for those ideas. And then there are shortcomings in our own thinking, which I think with time sometimes we do correct, sometimes we we are not able to. If we take an example, the people who the who created the United States of America, or the father of the nations, they were they are highly revered in the United States. Doesn't mean they had no flaws. For example, they had they had many slaves, and to have a slave in the 18th century was, for a rich white European person, was a very normal thing. Nobody even thought that owning people is not a right thing to do. So when we talk about Gandhi Ji, some of the ideas that he had initially, which obviously not obviously, but he did correct about himself, also reflects on how narrow minded he himself was. But some of his ideas were very revolutionary. Those ideas transformed an entire society, inspired revolutionaries around the globe. But he also had ideas which were very racist, and which were we some ideas which he thought were his experimentations with his sexuality, or his understanding of universe, or his connection to the god, which he thought was totally acceptable. But as an outsider, you'll be think that that's not the right thing to do. So if we take an example, that the first time when we talk about Gandhiji, while traveling in the train, was thrown out of the train, he wasn't upset because he was thrown out because he was brown or Indian. He was upset because he thought that the white Britishers, they treated him as they would treat a black African, right? So he was more upset to be to because he was treated like the blacks, not because he wasn't European, right? So he somehow thought that being brown is at least better than being black. So he wasn't, at that time, that idea wasn't a very revolutionary idea. He himself thought that browns were better than blacks, which later in his life, those ideas he did change. He talked about it, and he even wrote about it, and how his views changed about all human beings. He also was a religious person. He believed in the religion and the ideas of Hinduism, so far so that he even talked to the the untouchables, and to the Adivasis, and it will be a very strange thing to say that if it wasn't for Gandhiji, a lot of people who now call themselves Hindus would have sided their path, would have sided away from the ideas of Hinduism, which, because Hinduism is such a broad ideas, that it incorporates all all ideas which are it can. So, for example, the Adivasis had very strange and very, for the for the society that we live in, very strange ideas,